Byron Smith. Good to see you, man. Long time no see.
Yeah, well, we saw each other Saturday, so yes. Before that, yes, it was a long time.
Yeah. How are you, first of all? Now that I can hear you and you can hear me, how are you, Coach?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thank you for asking.
All right. Well, you touched on it a little bit Saturday, if you don't mind sharing with the audience here. Who does PV have on its non-conference schedule?
We'll start out November 6th with Kansas Christian, NAIA opponent here at home. And then we'll get on the road. We'll play Seattle University. We'll play Washington State. We'll go out to Abilene Christian. We'll play in a 2-game MTE November 19th and 21st, UT Martin in Eastern Kentucky. Then we'll travel down south back to the great state of Louisiana, Tulane University, Green Wave on November 29th. Then we'll get on the road, Iowa State, Northern Iowa. We'll come back home right before Christmas, December 18th, against North American, NAIA opponent. And then we'll conclude with Rice on December 20th, UTSA on the 28th on the road, and Texas A&M on December 30th. And that will conclude our non-conference schedule. And then we'll get ready for conference play right after the 1st of January.
So if I heard you right, you got 2 home games.
Yes, correct.
How many road games?
10, 11. Yeah, 11, actually. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And who put the schedule together? Is it you?
Coach Spencer Robinson, my associate head coach in waiting. Head
coach in waiting. Well, all right. Well, what are your thoughts on the schedule you put together?
I like it. I like it. I mean, obviously, it's a challenging, but I as most mid-majors and schools at our level, you want to try to go out and play against really good competition, get used to some hostile environments, some really, really good teams to really get us prepared, for the really, really important time, which is conference play and heading into postseason. So I like it. We'll spend a little bit of time. Rice will be technically a home game for us. UTSA will be able to get some of our fans out. Tulane, we'll be traveling some of our fans. So, we're not all over the country. We're spread out a little bit, but I still think it's a good enough schedule to where we can get some alums to come out and support us a little bit. Families can come out and watch their babies play. So I think it's a good competitive schedule. I think that gives us a chance to win some of those games. And just to kind of get a good idea as to where we are, for this upcoming season, getting us into conference play. So we like it. To answer your question, I think it's a good schedule for us.
How is your roster for the upcoming season coming along?
Roster's full. I think we've got some really, really good pieces. We've got a few guys returning. Obviously, we had quite a few grad transfers last year, so we graduated quite a few. But I think we got some really good experienced players, new to Prairie View, but not new to college basketball. So I think it's a good mix of some young and a bit of experience. I won't say old. So I like our roster. Just got to come together, work hard. We had a pretty good summer with most of our guys and have everybody in, but we had a few of them in. The remaining balance is coming in this week. So we'll hit the practice floor next week and start working on our chemistry and our synergy, our camaraderie. But I like our roster, and I think we're going to be more than competitive this year. I like our chances.
Do you have any freshmen on the squad?
We've got one freshman, Orlando Horton Jr. From Clear Falls High School out in the Clear Lake area. I think a lot of people in the area kind of know about, a lot of people in the state kind of know about. So he's our lone freshman, but really excited about him and his contribution to our program this year.
And I think Orlando was a Guy V. Lewis Award finalist.
He was, correct. He definitely was that, yes.
So I know he can hoop, so that's good.
He can play a little bit, yes.
I always ask you this question, and your answer so far has not yet changed. But I'm going to ask you it again for everybody watching the show. Is there anybody on the roster who can shoot better than you?
No, Chris. And I try to be as humble as I possibly can, but the truth prevails, no matter how it sounds.
Does your staff agree with that?
So no.
So does anybody on your staff
has been able to knock me off in that regard?
Is the objective to recruit somebody one day who can shoot better than you?
Been really trying, been all over the world. I'm talking to Steph about little Cannon, his little 4-year-old son. Maybe I have to wait for him to be eligible for Division I to sign him to have someone to be better. But definitely been looking to get multiple guys that can really have high impact from the perimeter. We've got some good shooters, just they're not great yet, but maybe by the end of the year, maybe they'll be great shooters, and that really help our chances to have a successful year.
For those who don't know much about Coach Byron Smith, let them know about your coaching background, then we get into your hooping background.
I mean, obviously, I started at the University of Houston when I finished my playing career, professional playing career, and obviously bounced around a little bit. Did some AAU stuff, did some Globetrotter stuff, did a lot of AAU stuff. Got an opportunity to come to Prairie View as an assistant back in 2013, and I've been here since then. So, been very blessed to be a part of this game as long as I have as a player and now as a coach. Think I've had a pretty successful stint, as a head coach. I mean, obviously we're not where we want to be. Last couple of years have just kind of been mediocre years when we had so much success when I first started back in 2016, 17. But feel really good about the impact that myself and my staff has been able to make. But just still got a long way to go. Got a lot to learn. Still learning each and every day, trying to become better each and every day. We've done some good things, but I think there's a lot of more work to be done. But I guess in terms of style, I mean, obviously, people laugh when I say this, kind of chuckle, because when I was a player, I wasn't very fond of defense, but that's kind of what I've become known as a defensive coach here at Prairie View. And that's kind of how we've structured our program to be defense first, and obviously fill in the gaps with our offense and things like that nature. But, I guess a hard-nosed, up-tempo, aggressive, intense type coach would be some of the adjectives to describe my coaching style. But again, I think we've done some good things here at Prairie View. I think we've raised the profile here at Prairie View. I think we're on the map, but still got some work to do. And I think we can be better. I think we will be better, be more consistent throughout my time here and what we've got left to do. So, a growing coach. Like I said, with some things to learn, but feel like I've had great impact here at Prairie View with our student athletes in the 7 years that I've been head coach.
Who are the members of your coaching staff?
I have Spencer Robinson, who's getting ready to start his 5th year. He's been here. He's a veteran of our league, and I think he's a budding star in the business. I think when he gets an opportunity to be a head coach, I think he's going to do a really good job. We have Johnny Williams, who was over at Texas Southern for a couple of their championship runs, who brings a lot of experience, been around, quite a bit in some other places, Tennessee State and Alabama A&M. Jacob Galindo is our director of basketball operations, who's getting ready to be his 3rd year with us, and just does so many things for our program, and just really a tremendous asset, takes really good care of the players and all of our, equipment orders and our travel and, food and things like that. Just does a great job. And we've got one spot open that's has yet to be filled, and kind of going through that process right now, who we're going to bring in. But those are the 3 guys, Spencer Robinson, Johnny Williams, and Jacob Galindo, that make up our staff for this upcoming year, 23-24.
Do you have a timetable on when you want to fill that final spot?
Obviously school starts Monday, so we need to, probably have someone here within a couple of weeks. I think, we do a pretty good job with the guys that we have, and we have guys that wear multiple hats, so that kind of gives you a little bit more time to take your time to be able to get the right fit. But obviously, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'd like to have someone here in the seat, as we begin our individual workouts and our team stuff. And as we move forward and move closer to, I think, September 23rd or 24th, 25th, I think is the first official day of practice. So we'd like to have someone in the fold definitely by that time.
Do you have, based on summer workouts, an idea of your go-to players for this coming season?
It's kind of wide open. I mean, obviously, you have players and you look at their past, their bio, their past history, some of the things they've been able to do in other programs, be it high school, junior college, or just the traditional Division I transfer. So we have an idea of guys who we think based off what they've done in the past, but you just never know. I mean, anytime there's a new start, a new program, there's adjustments that have to be made, because obviously our playing style is probably far different than most of the places that they played before. But obviously we think we have a pretty good idea about the impact that these guys can make. But It's open right now. There is no set starting lineup. It's an open competition. But we have seen some things in the summer workouts, and again, what they've done some other places that kind of give us an idea as to who we think can do what and how the impact they can have for this upcoming season.
Who are some of the guys? How many? You said you had one freshman in Orlando. How many grad transfers?
We've got five grad transfers. You got some returning guys, and got about four or five JUCO guys that are coming in. So, again, last year we had, I think, 11 grads, and that was too many. So we've kind of cut that a little bit in half. But we like the grad transfers that we have. The good players are good people. They want to win. They want to have a chance to compete for championships and get in the postseason. So our roster is comprised of different types. But I think in the end, I think they're going to come together and they're going to play really good basketball as a unit, because I think they like playing with each other, and I think that they get along really well, which is really big for team chemistry.
Name some of the grad transfers. Are there people that fans would know?
I'm not sure. Charles Smith is a grad transfer from Old Dominion. Charles Lane, CJ Lane is a grad transfer from Eastern Illinois. Javante Hopkins is a grad transfer from Tarleton. He's a Fort Bend Travis kid. People may know him. Justin Niemert is a grad transfer from Eastern Oklahoma. And I'm pretty sure Ronell Giles, not a grad transfer, but he is a transfer from St. Francis in Pennsylvania. He's got a lot of experience that's going to come in. Nick Gasilas, I'm sorry, mispronounced his name, is a grad transfer from Montana State. He's a Tascasita graduate. So he's coming back home to spend his final year in college. He's a three-point shooter, so we're looking for a big impact from him this upcoming year. So I think we got 5 or 6 that we feel really good about, and really excited, about the impact that they can have this upcoming year.
Coach, those schools you named are across the country. How you and the staff at Prairie View become so national to get guys to transfer to the Hill?
I think it's just what we've been able to do, the success that we had. Like I said, again, we've been a little bit off the last couple of years, but I think we had a lot of success, a few years back, and just continuing to play good basketball. And I think your reputation kind of grows, and when you know other coaches in other places, and you have relationships, and they kind of know you as a man, as a person, as a coach, and you reach out to them and say, hey, understand such and such is in the transfer portal. Tell me about them, and if you could you talk to, this young man a little bit about us in here at Prairie View. So I think it's kind of mutual. I think we've done some good things and established a pretty good reputation and, doing things the right way and having a really good basketball program. And having people that kind of know, how you coach, and obviously these coaches know these players and what will be a good fit, what will be a good system for them. But basketball is, Chris, it's big, but it's small. Everyone kind of knows everyone in this business, and you just kind of make contact with these kids, and it really helps if you have a relationship with that coach that young man played for. Unfortunately, we've been able to develop and establish some really good relationships around the country, and I think our reputation is solid. So I don't think coaches have a problem saying, hey, I think that Prairie View would be a good place for you to go and spend your grad transfer year or your final 2 years or whatever the case may be. So we've been blessed and fortunate to develop good relationships that have helped us be able to recruit good players.
And is part of or a benefit of those strong relationships help you and the staff put together a non-conference schedule?
That as well, yeah. Sometimes it works against you. When you have a really good program, it's harder to get games. Sometimes people may not feel really good about, matching up against a really, really hungry team, especially early in the year. So sometimes it works against you. But fortunately for us, they know that we're going to be competitive. We're going to come out and we're going to play really hard. And we always go into every game, no matter who we play, the mindset that we can win if we play our best basketball. And I think a lot of coaches want that. They want to test early on. Some may not as much, depending on, where they are with their contract, or, it's a must-win type of a year. Sometimes the Prairie Views, Texas Southerns, Jackson State, Grambling, Alcorns, those could be bad losses for a coach as well. But for the most part, it's coaches want tough competition. They know that Prairie View's going to give them that. No matter what we play, what time of the year, it's going to be tough. So yeah, we feel really good about again, our reputation across the board in terms of recruiting and in terms of being able to get really good non-conference teams to play us.
You mentioned earlier non-conference about the MTE. Where is the MTE taking place? Where is it being held?
It's going to be at Eastern Kentucky this year. Like I said, we got UT Martin and Eastern Kentucky. So it should be two really good teams. Play UT Martin this past season at their place in an MTE, lost by 1 point at the buzzer. So we feel good about going up against them, and I'm sure they'll be better. And I think we'll be better too this year. And then we'll play the host team, Eastern Kentucky, they got a really, really good roster. So it'll be real good, two really good tests right there, kind of at the start of our season. Games that we'll need to work and be really good at to try to get better and improve. So we think it's a good time of the year to be in that particular event. We like it. We like our chances going up against those two programs.
What are your thoughts? I got a few more minutes with Coach Byron Smith, Prairie View A&M men's basketball head coach. What are your thoughts on NIL?
Hey, obviously it's growing. I mean, it's the new wave. It's the new trend. We've had some of our players been able to benefit off of it a little bit. I think it's growing. I think more opportunities will come, for us as we continue to play and play good basketball and put out a good product. But I think it's good. I mean, I think it's fair. I know a lot of coaches are kind of, maybe in the middle on the other side of it, may not liking it as much because I think the perception is that, schools are kind of, it's a kind of a amateur free agency, if you will, when you're offering kids opportunities. So I think as long as it's, if it stays within the rules and from which it was created, I think it can be good. But, obviously if it's, just a way to be able to, I like this kid on your team. What are you getting? What's Prairie View getting in the NIL? Well, I'm only getting, $500 a month. Well, we'll give you $5,000. Well, I think that could be a little bit difficult. Maybe it'd be a little bit tough to be able to deal with. Fortunately for us, we haven't been in that situation yet. But I do like, the concept that you can be compensated, for your name, image, and likeness. Because I think you worked really hard to put yourself in a position to have a good name, and it's your brand. So I think it's good. I think it's something that's been overdue. But as long as it stays within the rules and how for which it was created, I think it's positive moving forward.
Wrapping it up with you, you played basketball, college ball at Houston. Mm-hmm. What did you do after that professionally?
Man, I played in a lot of places, Chris. I was either really good or really bad. I had an opportunity to go to Australia and play there for many years, down in South America, Brazil, Venezuela, Turkey, over in Europe. So Cyprus, which is right by Greece. So I had an opportunity to play in a lot of different places, and it really gave me a greater perspective on the game. I mean, obviously, anytime you can, get an international experience, and obviously I had the American experience, and you can kind of bring those two games together. I think it makes you better as a player, but I also think it gives you a greater perspective on how you need to coach. And as you see right now, there's a huge influx of international players coming over to the NBA and to college. So I think it benefits you to kind of understand both sides of it. So I had an extensive playing career, still playing a lot of basketball right now, still act as if I'm in the NBA or college right now with all my men's leagues, but had a really good run at it, Chris, playing a lot of different places, a lot of semi-pro basketball, even when I was done playing professionally. So I'm still at it. At 53 years old, I'm still at it, still feel good. Not a lot of bumps and bruises, not a lot of cuts and surgeries in my body and things like that, but just getting that opportunity to travel, play abroad, see different parts of the world, by way of the game of basketball has truly been a blessing for me, something that I'm grateful to the good Lord to give me the opportunity to do that. And I wish that every young person that can't make it to the NBA to get an opportunity to play abroad, at least for a year, because it just gives you just a different perspective, a broader perspective on life, and the game of basketball at the same time. So definitely was blessed to be able to do it. Hope that every young person that has a desire to do that gets an opportunity to do that at some point in their career.
Did you have a favorite country?
Australia's favorite country. I mean, obviously, you talk about destination places. Everybody that you ever talked to, oh man, Australia, you played there. Tell me what that was like. I always wanted to go there. I always wanted to vacation there. So obviously, there's no language barrier, and obviously they do a lot of the similar things that we do. We have a huge impact and influence on most countries around the world. Most countries, I should say, not all. But that was probably not even close to my favorite experience and places that I played. Australia for sure.
Is there a country, a league that you did not have the greatest experiences and will tell your players, anybody, don't go there?
Chris, funny story. I was playing in Brazil, and this was down toward the end, and we're playing this tournament, and the referee made a bad call, or he swallowed his whistle, as we say here, and two of our players on our bench literally jumped up and chased the referee into the locker room. And they didn't chase him in there to pat him on the back. They chased him in there with some evil intent. And I was like, man, I've never seen anything like that. And then so we had a game the next night. I don't think they caught the ref. I think he made it out of the building. We had a game the next night. It was a similar situation. And a fan did it the next night, chased the referee out of the deal. And so I'm going to say that I think Brazil is beautiful. The beaches and the people were really nice, great place to visit. But you better, if you're a player or if you're a referee or whatever, you better be prepared. If things don't go the way that the home crowd wants it to go, it can kind of be a little bit tough on you. So I wouldn't say not to go play in a place like Brazil, but the mentality and the passion for winning, not only in basketball but in soccer, it's pretty extreme. So you better be prepared if you go over there to play, for sure.
In the closing minutes with you, just one more time, if you don't mind, remind everybody who's watching PV's non-conference schedule.
I'm sorry, I missed that part. Say it again, Chris.
Oh, just remind everybody Prairie View's non-conference schedule.
Non-conference, November 6th, Kansas Christian here, home game, Division II school. November 8th, Seattle. November 10th, Washington State on the road. November 14th, Abilene Christian on the road. November 19th and 21st, UT Martin in Eastern Kentucky, which is an MTE tournament, multi-tournament event, multi-team event, I should say. November 29th will be in New Orleans against Tulane. December 10th at Iowa State. December 12th, road trip to Northern Iowa. December 18th, home game, North American University, which will be, again, here at home. December 20th at Rice. December 28th over in San Antonio, one of my favorite cities in the entire country, against UTSA. And December 30th will conclude our non-conference down the road at our big brother at Texas A&M. So that'll be a very, very tough non-conference schedule, but one that we're pretty excited about and feel like we can have some success.
All right, Coach Smith, thank you very much for your time. My apologies because the error was on my end. I'm trying to do new things here and I'm messing up my old days. Sometimes that's dangerous. So thank you very much. Thank your staff as well. And we'll keep in touch. I look forward to seeing PV this coming season.
Thanks a lot, Chris, for your time and having me on your wonderful show. And all the best to you moving forward. Definitely a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you. Take care.
Mm-hmm.